Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Fallout Shelter Survival. How y'all doing? It's a little bit cold here, and I don't mean the weather outside, I mean the house inside. Yep, it is freaking cold. It is cold. Looks like an umbrella logo in the background. Hello! How you doing? My goodness. So, the reason why it's cold, my furnace broke. Yes, the hits, they just keep on coming. What do we got going on? And I'll explain that in a little bit. We got to collect 7,500 caps out in the wasteland. We got to stop 9 mole rat infestations before they spread, which I'm going to kick it out because it's not happening. I don't care about it enough. Let's get rid of it. Kill 52 creatures in the wasteland. Well, we will send Star Paladin Cross back out to do that, I guess. For, what is it for? It's for 1,000 caps. Oh, well, it should take her not that long. Alrighty. You cannot do anything with what you have on you. So we're going to get rid of all that stuff. And, ooh, we want to keep that. We want to keep, just a second. Just a second. My goodness, what's going on here? Alright, what do we get the most of that we don't really need? Schneiggies. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Now we can bring her in, I believe. Whoop, yeah. So we got Mr. Handy 1 and Mr. Handy 2 still on their way back. They have enough to complete that. Between the two of them, they have enough to complete the 7,500 caps. But Star Paladin Cross is going to also help with that idea. Yeah, I want to do that. So there you go. And you can see we've collected the recipe for a laser pistol and a sports fan outfit. We've collected 3,440 caps and lots of stuff. And there you go. And we are going to get you back out there. You're going to go back out. Sorry. Boom. There you go. Have fun. All right. Aha! I know what I can do with you. Mr. Sir, you've got, Jesse Taylor is now out of all of the training. He has got, pretty decent stats. We're going to send him down to here. And we are going to accompany him with someone of equally impressive, stats to get the rest of that thing as we talk. We're going to force the issue on that one. To get the survive a mole rat attacks without any casualties. Because I can. Oh, I think I missed something. Maybe it was some, okay. So, as we sit there and spin infinitely into the abyss of this music, I will sit there and begin to tell my tale. As you know, last June, I had shoulder surgery from an accident the year before. Sitting on my couch, get the phone call. Hey, I got some problems. Your job is no longer going to be around. Success. Meaning I was losing my job at the end of August, which I did. And I've been looking ever since. And some, promising leads have happened in the last couple of weeks, hopefully, with the new year being what it is. There will be some opportunities for me to explore, hopefully. How timely that is. The unfortunate part about all that is that I'd been given a severance in September. Pretty decent severance that, lasted me for about as much as it could. And I was also able to collect unemployment. And with the addition of the side business of selling t-shirts, I have been able to supplement and get through the holidays and everything else. Now, yes, the failure of that is, that's all good and well if nothing goes wrong. Given no other issues, I should be able to survive and exist okay until something comes along. First thing to happen? Willow, unfortunately. And I, between Christmas and New Year's, I spent over $1,000, and ultimately had to, unfortunately, make the decision to put her down because she just was too ill. And the unfortunate part about it is that kind of thing does cost money that I really did not have to spend. Now, you know, Christmas being what it is, my family would always give me money. They'd give all of us kids money every year. Now we don't have a need for, you know, material things. We need monetary things. The material things we need have dead presidents on them. So that helped a little bit. But the unfortunate part about that is that I have to then pay quarterly taxes in January, of which the quarterly taxes is almost twice what I get in a unemployment compensation. Yeah. So, again, I had some reserves I could tap into if I needed to, you know, and we were going to be okay. And then today happened. This being Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Megan has been dealing with some issues on her own with her house. She needed to have French drains put in her basement. She's a house that's probably about a little 100 years old, maybe a little bit more. And unfortunately, it's right into the clay, and they didn't put it in very well when they built it, you know, back then. And so when it rains, it pours in her basement, quite literally. So a friend of hers who does that kind of work was able to dig up the basement and put in some French drains, and she should be in good shape. The unfortunate part is that she had to come over here to do laundry because they have that all dug up and dusty and unhooked and everything else. So she needed to make sure that she had clothes for work. So she, you know, I, of course, was fine. I'm going to rush this one. Oh, why did you do that, you dumb son of a bitch? Oh, I got lucky on that. I mean, low probability for failure, but still, I want to take chances, like that kind of chances with those types of things. So she's been coming over here. Now, she came over here today, and you know, there are things that happen in this world for a reason. And it's not even, woohoo, it's not even a case of, you know, oh, karma or collect 270 water in under a minute. I think I can possibly do that with a reboot. I'm going to put you in a good outfit, and then we will continue our little tale of woe. Yeah, you're going to go up here for right now. Help them out. You're going to go back to your hole, and everything will be fine. And it'll be happy. We're going to be happy. Let's see here. We will go out and come back in. Ugh, I don't think we're going to be able to get that one. Oh, there's no way we're going to be able to get it. There's just no way. Even if it's going to fail, though. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I will, you know, in the in-between part where I don't record, it may happen on its own, but it's not going to happen with me forcing the issue, so why even bother? Especially since we don't have enough stuff to take care of it. So, but anyways, what I was saying was, so Megan had been coming over to do her laundry, and we were sitting here watching TV. She was doing laundry, and I had noticed, she had noticed actually, I didn't notice it at first, there was a bit of a burning smell coming from somewhere in the house. Now, she was doing laundry, so my immediate thought was, oh, something was in a pocket somewhere, it went into the dryer and was then, you know, melted. I'm like, oh, great, you know. And I said, okay, fine. She's like, no, I think it's coming from the furnace. It smells at the top of the steps where there's a vent, and it smells there's a bathroom off of the laundry room where the furnace and the hot water tank are. So we were pretty convinced that it was something in the furnace. I said, okay, well, let's just see about this. So I turned off the dryer and the washer, and everything was stopped. And I turned off the furnace, and I have an attic fan and I had some fans, like some ceiling fan, like in the kitchen ventilation fans. So I began to vent things to hope, because it was kind of like overpowering. It was really awful. So, after a little while, I mean, it's like the furnace is off. It was 70 degrees in here. Now, of course, right here in southwestern Pennsylvania, it has been, 15 to 20 degrees, and we're getting more snow right now. At the current, it's 10 o'clock, 10:20 at night. It's 25 degrees outside. So it could be a lot worse than it was. If this would happen last week, I'd be lipping screwed. But we started trying to, track down the smell. And she's like, look, I have a friend who did my HVAC and my brother's HVAC. Call him, have him come out. It's like, look, I don't have the money to have somebody come out and look at this and say that I'm just I'm overreacting to things. I just don't have the fundage to do that. It's like I have to pick and choose, and I have to pay my taxes, which, tomorrow, as soon as the money gets into my bank account, I have to pay my taxes. I have to pay a couple of bills. I still have another bill left over from, physical therapy, that kind of thing. So it's like I have to really pick and choose what I'm going to be spending money on. Yes, Lucy, I know. I know, it's cold. So I was like, all right, fine, let's figure this out. So we turned the furnace back on, and I was like, yep, it's immediately, there's a smell. So I called our guy, and he called me back. He's like, look, it's a holiday. I don't know if I can fit you in today. It's this much to come out just to look at it. If I have to come out after hours, that's an overtime call. I'm like, yeah, no. You come out today, or I will just deal with it till tomorrow. And then he called back and said, look, I got a guy who's in the area. He can come out and see. I'm like, okay, sure. So I figured, okay, fine. $70 for a peace of mind. I get that. I'll have to bite the bullet and take that. So he came out, and he's down in the basement, rooting around in the electrical area and looking at that stuff. And I said, please just excuse the utter mess of this place. I mean, it's been, I bought the house 14 years ago, and I haven't really done much to it. And then I was starting to do things to it, and all hell broke loose between having shoulder surgery done and stopping my physical activity from doing stuff, and then me losing my job, stopping my financial activity from doing these things. He's like, well, as it is, I've only done 3 things in this house. I did the floor, I did the roof, and I did, the back porch. He's like, well, you're going to do 4 things. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, this is shot. I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? He's like, well, we know what's wrong with why, that smell. I'm like, what is it? He's like, well, the capacitor is kaput. And the capacitor pushes energy or pushes electricity into the fan that blows heat off of off of it. So it's not powering this fan that's blowing the heat, that's remediating heat or whatever from this area. He's like, that's bad. And I said, we could replace the capacitor, but it's not going to do you a damn bit of good because your heat exchanger looks like the Titanic today, underwater, rusted in holes. So I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? And he's got the little thing. He's got the little gauge with the video screen on it and the little scope camera like they stick in your ass for your, your colonoscopy. And it did. It was like all rusted up and holed up. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, how does something like that get so rusted? He's like, well, the coil, could have condensed and froze and condensed, thawed and then, dripped and everything else. It's possible. I mean, I have a thing that runs in the back that does all that, but, like a drip pipe, but not all that great. So, that being said, I'm like, well, he's like, you're getting a new furnace. That's just all there is to it. There's no other way around it. I'm like, I can't afford a brand new furnace. He's like, well, we do financing, that kind of stuff. So I said, great. Well, we can't do it today. This was already 4 o'clock in the afternoon by now. So I set up some time in the morning with his boss, who was also his brother, to come out and quote me and do all that stuff. And it's just a pain in the ass because now I'm looking at probably $6,000 to $7,000 for a brand new furnace. And the reason I'm saying that is because I knew the furnace was not going to survive very much longer. I knew that coming into this house 14 years ago. The reason I know that is because the furnace looks, it's built, I mean, it's this big honking thing. It's about almost as big as a refrigerator. And it is on it's got like a little pedestal of concrete, like a ramp, like it was like slopes up. And it's sitting on top of this pedestal, this concrete pedestal. And I'm like, who the hell would put that on a concrete thing on as a second furnace? The house was built in 1960. Who the heck in the 80s or the 90s put this stupid furnace on top of this concrete, like cement into the floor? And then it dawned on me, that furnace is not from this 80s or 90s. That furnace is original to the house. It's a company called Crane, C-R-A-N-E. And they stopped making furnaces in 1968. They were bought out by Amana. So my furnace is older than my brother who just turned 50. That furnace is, more, where the hell is the Mr. Handy at? Where the flip did he go? Oh, he's out. No, he's right here. Shit. Is he going to get there in time? I don't think he's going to get there in time. What do you think? You think he's going to get there in time? What are the odds? You want to take bets? You want to take bets? Come on. Mr. Handy, get up there. Get your ass up there. Move your freaking ass. And he made it. He will die a horrible death. We will spend $2,000, 2,000 caps getting him back. But, he will take care of things. And I'm not, because I don't have the, I sent all my stim packs out into the world with Star Paladin Cross. So yeah, this furnace was from 1960. The house was built in 1960, and it lasted for 58 years. I mean, I can't really fault the furnace. I can kind of fault the previous owners of the house in that, they had that furnace in there for 44 years and didn't think to, switch it out. Now, the air conditioning itself, the air conditioner, I don't know when that was put in, but it's going because I can put the air conditioning on in the summertime, set it to 70 degrees in the house, and I'll come back in a half an hour, and it's 72. I'm like, what the hell? All right, well, put it down to 69, and it's now 74. So it doesn't do a very good job. It is not efficient at all. I have horrible windows that are original to the house, that are beautiful windows, that they're sort of like, I like the character of them. They have the pulleys in them. So, but the only problem is that sometimes you try to put put it up, and it slams back down on your fingers, and it's like Amityville Horror. But, it has a lot of character, these wood windows, but I'm going to have to eventually put the windows in. Now, I had made all these grand plans when I bought this house in 2004 to update everything in it. I mean, it was a 60s ranch, pretty decent bones to it, but it just never happened. Things got away from me. Life got away from me. Exactly. I mean, 2004, bought the house. 2007, Bailey came along. 2010, we lost a family member. And, our priorities shifted towards other things. And then in 2013, priorities shifted even more. And now here I am with this house, and I've put on a new roof. I've taken down one huge ass pin oak. I put a new roof on it, and I was making plans to do all this when everything hit the wall in June. Or last April, actually, because of the accident. So this is the fun of adulting. And it sucks because we sit here and we watch these shows, House Hunters. We sit there and we watch, I make macaroni art and sell it on Etsy. I design teacups for pigs. We have a budget of $400,000. Who the hell are these people? And why the hell do they buy the things that they do? And you want to just throw your shoe at the TV for the way people act. But, that's just the way people are. Some people that they buy out. So, my tip for you is if you ever go and buy a house, understand that if you buy the house and you go through the house and you think of the potential of what can be in there, understand that potential relies on your ability to get that done. can you plan, if you're planning for a house with a partner and you're planning on, having kids or having a family at some point, that's going to cut into the ability for you to get stuff done. Do you want a house that's move-in ready that you don't have to do anything to? You're going to pay more for, but you're going to save money in the background, in the back end. Do you have, a flair for creativity and you like old character of old houses and the bones and everything else, and then you want to do that work and you want to, fine, go find one of those houses and fix it up. Don't put a bunch of freaking shiplap in gray and turn it into a home, a Pier 1 with Home Depot contractor tiling and call it a day. Do some actual freaking work on it. Put some nice corbels up. Do a good, tile job on the facade of the fireplace. Do those kind of things, Try to restore the house to make it look something good. Don't be these idiots that go and do stuff. I mean, I'm just as guilty. I've got 16-inch contractor tile in my basement right now, and eventually I'm going to rip it up. And it pains me to think that I spent a hell of a lot of money and effort to tile half of this floor because my cat, who's still with me, the one cat that caused me the most issues, she's hiding her head in shame right now, that she was the one that caused the most issues, that had to cause me to do the flooring, in a sense. That I did that, and I tiled behind the barn. I tiled the entire, basically half of the basement, and the rest of the half is still 80s brown shag horrible carpet, which I'm glad because of the way that they've treated it. But I'm going to tear everything up again and start over. That's basically what's going to happen. So yeah, I made a fix. I put a fix in that was not temporary, but it is temporary. So these are things you have to understand. When I first moved in, 2 years later, I'm sitting on the couch, half out of it at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Bailey's mother, who she was pregnant at the time with Bailey, was doing laundry, and she hears this horrible noise, and she wakes me up off the couch and says, I need you to go look at something. She opens up the door to the bathroom at the end of the laundry room, and the damn hot water tank looks like, Yellowstone. Old Faithful, just spraying water out of the top of it. So I had to replace a hot water tank 2 years into the house. It has now been 11 years since I've replaced that water tank, and I'm sure that's going to be next. But the thing is that now I'm being forced to do the things I didn't have time or the money to do then, and I'm just having to do them. And now that's going to start the conversation to say, I can now do this because that bathroom that's attached to that area with the hot water tank and the furnace can now begin to be fixed up because it's no longer going to be an issue. I'm going to have a new furnace. And I'm going to have a new air conditioning unit on the outside. Now, the funny part about that is, why the hell would I replace the air conditioning unit? Well, it's, like I said, it's horrible anyways. And you can usually get a discount if you buy them together and have them installed together by the people doing it. They can cut you a deal. The issue here is it's 15 degrees outside. It's a 2 hours worth of work for them to do that. And it's either snow on the ground or water, raining or whatever, or the weather, the temperature is horrible. And so it's almost like, what are you doing? You're going to make us go out there and do this? I asked the guy, I said, look, the cost, is there going to be a cost associated with having to do the air conditioning unit now with the weather versus buying them separately at separate times? He's like, no, we can do it. We can process everything now. You can buy it now, and then when it gets nicer out, we can come and do the other half of it. And I was like, sold. So, that's the kind of thing that gives me a little bit of peace of mind. And I'm going local. I'm going to a local person, somebody who, who's not a very big outfit. I'm not going to like these big, huge, $99, we can come and do that. And you see news stories on the 5 o'clock news about how horrible they are. So, I'm trying to do this right, and I'm trying to go efficient. It's going to be at least a 90% efficient furnace, and it's not a very big house. It's probably, I wouldn't even say 2,000 square feet, maybe, I don't know. But it's an above-ground ranch, and I spend a hell of a lot of money cooling it in the summertime, and roughly a decent amount of money heating it in the wintertime, and I probably could save some money, and it's time. So, as I put out these fires in my life, and like I said, life is a series of hills and valleys, and you live in the valleys. You don't live on the hills. That's when things you don't know about. And Murphy's Law will tell you that a furnace will never break in the summertime. An AC unit will never break in the wintertime, and neither will break when you're sitting on a pile of disposable income. It's just the way it is. So, it is what it is. Am I in trouble for doing it? I'm more worried about having my pipes freeze. I'm more worried at this moment about, not being with heat for 2 days in this house that has horrible insulation, and I have a cat and I just can't abandon her. Those are the things that are worrying me. I've got these space heaters that they look like fireplaces from Aldi. I found one at Aldi for $60, and it works pretty damn well, and it puts out a lot of heat. It's just a light bulb with a blower, but it puts out a pretty decent amount of heat. And I have one downstairs running right now, and I'm going to turn off before I go to bed. I'm going to set the faucet to drip, but for the most part, it's going to be butt-puckering cold in this place. And I have an electric blanket, and I plan to be in pretty decent shape for the long haul, until I get through. Financially, it's not a great idea. It's not a great. Look at that, making all that money back that I just spent on repairing Mr. Handy's, and then a raider attack, and I do that for flipping no reason. They know it, and they do it on purpose. But it's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. I've learned to live with the valleys having lots of steep hills in front of me, getting steeper by the day. That's what it is. Financially, it's not a great situation. I'm going to have to dip into reserves that I've had, sitting in a credit union that is gaining interest that I can't get anywhere else. And I wanted to have that there, in case. And here's the thing. This is the in-case moment. My father, God bless his soul for being how sick he is right now, said, he basically sold his stake in the family farm to his brother. We lost. One didn't. What the flip happened there? How did that happen? They're getting tougher. Oh my goodness, dude. What the hell? How did you manage to... Ah, shit. Well, bugger all. That was strange. That wasn't expecting that to happen. These guys are shooting and there's nothing in the room yet. Guy's gonna walk in and die immediately. Yep, there he is. So, he sold the stake, his ownership in the farm, half between him and his brother, my uncle. And that split 4 ways between my mother, him and my mother, and my sister and my brother and myself, left me with a pretty decent amount of money to, have. And he asked me, he says, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, I'm probably going to pay off some of the mortgage, pay down some of my debt, pay down some of my, the line of credit I used to do the get out of, to get out of credit card debt and to put a new roof on the place. He's like, no. Just save it for a rainy day. Well, it's pouring. It's pouring outside. And I've found new ways to make money last as much as I can in term of not having a job. And it's rough, but it's happening. I'm doing it. And this is where you live. This is how you live. This is how you know you're alive. And if you can get through these things and you can look back and just think about when you actually get to the point where, let's say I can get to the point in my life in the next, hopefully this year, where I have a really decent job and I'm able to start paying down these things and I can sit in my house and feel the warmth of the furnace and realize that, on my brother's birthday, Martin Luther King Day, observed or whatever, 2018, shit hit the fan hard. And it's, it'll give you a sense of perspective. And that's how that works. So we're going to take a little break, and hopefully the Mr. Handies will be back real soon, and I'll bring Star Paladin Cross in before she gets too far out there, too far gone, because we don't want anything bad to happen to her. And we'll see you back in a little bit. All right. Woohoo! We're back. We're back. And we got some new stuff going on. I got some peeps I can't move around because they are got no place to go yet. I'm trying to get them there. You got to get you two done so I can move her over. It's the only place she's got left to go, and him, he can go anywhere until she gets out of the way. So we're you know, it's very slow process. And there's a rat roach infestation. You, my friend, are going to have to take care of it. And you will. You will take care of it. You're awesome, Harry Hancock. Yes, Hancock. He's like a superhero. My goodness, what are we doing? My goodness. Alrighty. Good job. You know what, we're going to heal you up twice, because we got to bring in Star Paladin Cross. So, just check real quick again for my own sake. Oh, look at this. Collect 310 food in under 1 minute for Mr. Handy. Oh, my goodness. 7,500 caps in Wasteland. We're about to do that one and survive 5 hours in the vault with no casualties. I'm going to kick that one out for only 700 caps because I want to see what this one is for that. And I need to turn Mr. Handy back on for collection, and then we will go back out and back in again, and that will get the that. Okay. So, you know, that'll have to be collected in the interim. It worked the other way, too, for the the water treatment, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, Star Paladin Cross. Sell all your common items. And my goodness, we sold everything. No. Shite. Oh, my goodness. Seriously? Oh, crap. Okay, well, what else can we sell? What else can we sell? Oh, my God, we got plenty of stuff to sell. Jesus. What are we doing here, people? Come on. What are we doing here? My goodness. Are we savages? Crap. Alright, well, you know what? You're going to go take care of that for now. Collect, you can come in. Mr. Handy, you can come in. Mr. You can come in. And that'll take care of the 7,500 caps in the wasteland. Yay! And collect from 105 containers on quests. That would be a fun one if I was doing quests. I know, I should be doing quests. I should be doing quests and I'm not. It sucks. Go take care of this, will you? You got a good enough gun. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. In fact, you know, both of you. You're collecting on these damn things. You might as well use them up. Oh, I've got 25 now because I brought her in. Got everything. So that takes care of that. I guess I should have really paid attention to what they were doing. I wasn't too worried about them. Oh, is that blood on the floor? Oh, wonderful. Oh, is that blood on the floor? Wonderful. And, okay, so that's where we're at for right now. Why do okay, you not have anywhere to go? Is that the problem? Well, you can go there. And, boop. You can go here, because there's no humans on that floor. And then when we get the next one, which we will have by next time, we will open it then, we will be in good shape. The damn Vault, the lunchboxes are just piling up right now. So I'm sorry this is going out so late. I just finally got heat in my house. It's now 6:30 in the evening. This will probably go out in the next hour on Wednesday. The guys that did my heat, thankfully to them, they just left the house. I've got heat again. I went 2 days without heat. It was kind of cold. And you heard that old story from the last couple of days. But there you go. So I couldn't record because they were banging around and all that stuff. They were like drilling into the wall to put, you know, new wiring and stuff through. So, alrighty. So there you go. That's and next week's gonna be a especially fun episode because you're gonna hear me rant and rave all about the fact that I won't be able to monetize any videos. This is pretty much the end of me making any kind of impact on YouTube because they're a bunch of bastards. And I'm not mincing any words about it. They're a bunch of bastards. So, you know, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, and so that means I won't be able to monetize my videos because they just keep moving the goalpost to get rid of us small content provider or content creators. Meanwhile, the ones that are big are doing things they shouldn't be doing, like filming suicide victims in forests and stuff like that. And, you know, there you go. But me, I can't play video games. So, but that's next week. Don't worry about that. So, all right, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.